Just the other day, PlayStation Underground released a new video showcasing 12 minutes of gameplay from the Spyro Reignited Trilogy. This gameplay is the first that we've seen of Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. So just as I did with the gameplay from E3, I'm going to point out some cool things I spotted in this gameplay. The first thing I wanted to point out is that they actually addressed one of the issues I pointed out in my previous video. In the E3 gameplay, the gem counter updated to the current amount of gems immediately without hitting all the numbers in between like it did in the original game. They updated the gem counter so that it now hits every number as it goes up. The gem counter is also now blue. I think it looks really cool being blue, but I'm not really sure what this means. Does it mean that the gem counter for Spyro 2 will be blue? Does this mean that the gem counter for all 3 games will be blue now, or will the color of the gem counter change based on what world you're currently in? I personally don't think I'd mind any of those outcomes. I've seen a few people criticizing the sound that the gems make when Spyro picks them up. There was even a few comments about it on my last analysis video. It seems like Toys for Bob are listening to what the fans have to say because they have updated the gem sounds. Here's a clip of the sound from the original game. Here's a clip of the sound from the E3 demo. And here's a clip of the updated sound.
Improve upon things or make things more fun and playful, because that's kind of what Toys for Bob is about, is like finding great wacky things that get us psyched.
I didn't mind the gem sound before, but I think it sounds even better now. It looks like Spyro has a new idle animation. In the original game, Spyro had 2 idle animations, one where he'd look back at the camera and another where he'd lick his paw and fix the spikes on his head. Now at the end of that animation, he does a quick stretch after fixing his spikes. Speaking of animations, this is still funny 18 years later. We got our first look at what the speech bubbles are going to look like in the Reignited Trilogy. The speech bubbles are now blue, and I can't help but wonder if that has anything to do with the gem counter being blue as well. Perhaps if I'm right about the gem counter changing color between worlds, the speech bubbles will change color as well. Here's our first look at Spyro's swimming animation, and it looks really good. I've heard that some people think the swimming animation looks too stiff or just not quite right. It looks fine to me, but I'm sure they could always improve it. The icon for the fish minigame has been updated to show both blue and yellow fish. I think that this makes it more clear that those are the only 2 color of fish that you need to flame, as flaming the red fish will cause the idol to throw up. We finally get to see what Zoe looks like, and I really like it. Her outfit is very detailed and much more so than the fairies we saw in the first game. Speaking of Zoe, after she zaps you, it saves your progress just like in the original game. However, now a small silhouette image of Spyro running pops up in the corner as the game is auto-saving. The small idle enemies now use barbecue lids in place of their shields. I love that Toys for Bob is adding new small elements to the game like this. The original enemies had marshmallows and hot dogs on sticks and kebabs, and the whole barbecue lid really fits well with the theme of this world. We just barely get a glimpse of a butterfly trapped in a jar. Unfortunately, we don't get a closer look or get to see Spyro break it open. The new metal vases look very shiny. Maybe they could tone them back a bit, but overall it's not really a problem. The gem baskets now have a metal lid on top, while the bottom is still made out of some sort of a wicker material. The supercharged power-up gate now has a new icon, a lightning bolt. I never really understood what the icon was meant to be in the original game. A fan? A wheel? Anyway, I think the lightning bolt is better. The only thing missing is the particle effect in the middle. I'm guessing they just haven't added it yet. The new orbs look really good, however the bouncing animation from the original game is not included, and Toys for Bob decided to go with a more flashy animation. I've heard some people saying that this is very similar to the talisman animation, and that they might only be using this as a placeholder for now. When the hula girls dance around the idol, no rain cloud appears. This is probably just another thing they haven't added yet. We need to keep in mind that this is still a work in progress. The last thing I wanted to mention is that last week we received a screenshot of Ripto. I think Ripto looks pretty cool, and I'm really excited to see what he looks like in action. So that's all the things I noticed from this new gameplay. Let me know if I missed anything in the comments below, and any other thoughts that you might have. If you missed my last analysis, there will be a link in the description. Thank you for watching Solo Delta Gamers, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and all of that other fun stuff.
This video is over.